You don't think I'm a bad boy? Well, guess what? I read banned books. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today our movie in the middle is The Pagemaster. The Pagemaster is the tale of a cautious child, Richard Tyler, who must find his way out of the library by facing perilous adventures in the genres of horror, adventure, and fantasy. It stars Macaulay Culkin, Christopher Lloyd, Whoopi Goldberg, Patrick Stewart, Frank Welker, and Leonard Nimoy. So as you all know, it's still September, which means I'm still doing some fantasy movies for some reviews this month. And every year, I come up with a new theme of which ones I'm going to watch and review. And this year, I couldn't really think of what I was going to be doing, but it kind of fell into my lap this year that I'm doing fantasy movies from when I was younger that I haven't seen in a really long time. And if you saw my last review, you know that I did the Spiderwick Chronicles, which kind of fell under that umbrella. And I figured, you know what? Since I did that one, I may as well just bite the bullet and go straight for the Pagemaster, because honestly, when I thought of doing this type of segment on the channel where it's like old childhood movies that we haven't thought about in a long time or maybe forgot about completely, this was top of the list. I found this movie at a thrift store in the back for like $5, and I was like, oh my god, what a core memory. I forgot that this movie existed. I think the last time I watched this movie was when library was a class and not a building. It's crazy how good we had it. The bell would ring and they would be like, grab your books and get to snack class. But I was very curious about rewatching this and see what I was going to remember and any weird feelings it brought up, being like decades since I've seen it. And I gotta be honest, I guess I just didn't remember most of it, but it was still a pretty interesting watch. Starting off with the highs, the animation in this movie is actually really well done. It is beautiful, it's expansive, and a lot of it I actually found to be very reminiscent of specifically Sleeping Beauty from Disney. Particularly the backgrounds. There's a lot of backgrounds where they're very minimalistic, very like watercolor blending into each other, very thin trees. That is something that's very prevalent in Sleeping Beauty. And another thing is Fantasy, the book. She has these magical sparkles that are, you know, falling off of her, I guess, every time she flies somewhere. And they kind of fade away, just like they do in Sleeping Beauty. So I thought it was kind of cool that they took some inspiration from that. But otherwise, I mean, it just leads to some incredible visuals. There are shots in this movie that portray this library as if it's this ginormous labyrinth or city. I mean, these bookshelves, it's like the Hall of Prophecies in the Order of the Phoenix. It's like giant shelves that go on just forever, and it makes the library just look like such a cool, fantastic place. Which, incidentally, it is. And I just want to take a second and talk about the library, because god damn it, we don't deserve it. The library is probably one of the last things that we have as a society that is just completely pure. It's free, it offers everything you can possibly think of in terms of needs and wants and love. And it's also, as I've seen other people say, probably one of the only places left where you are not expected to pay something or buy something or subscribe to something. You're just allowed to exist there. Every year, every month, I find out from one of my friends, two of my friends who work at the library, more programs and opportunities and things that the library offers. You can obviously get a book or print things, but you can also have study spaces and spaces to hold meetings. They offer tutoring for certain subjects. You can rent musical instruments. I'm gonna start a band just because the library is convenient. Like, genuinely, people are like, man, I can't pay for all this streaming to see these movies. How am I gonna watch them? And I think we and me too, completely forget that the library is free. And as long as it's in stock, you can watch the movie. It's crazy. Literally name another place that does all of this, offers all of these services, everything. And honestly, it's just a place that you can go for peace and quiet. It's just so nice to get away from the world for just a little bit. But of course, Macaulay Culkin stars in this movie, and I swear to God, he is always playing a rich. whether it's Richard Tyler or Richie Rich or he's just rich. I mean, actually though, what was with this house and a Paris trip? That's just not fair. Hell, he even married the richest woman out of Tipton Hotel. But as with any movie that he starred in as a child, he's great. You know, he's just a great lead to have in any movie because he is that kid that just kind of has it all together. Like, he'd be that kid that on, like, a playground, if you were having, like, a battle, you would follow him because he knows what the hell is up. But he always accompanies that with, like, a childlike wonder in all of his roles. So, of course, this was a great role for him. And it was also a little different because he plays a very cautious type of person. And everything scares him, and he's very statistical, which is a little bit different from, like, his Home Alone or Richie Rich roles. So that was, you know, something new. Christopher Lloyd is great as well, and again, I think just playing to type, because he's this kind of kooky yet wise kind of guy, kind of like Doc in Back to the Future. And I said this about, you know, David Strathairn with Arthur Spiderwick, but his voice, he's just got such a good voice. They just get all these people that have a great range in terms of acting and vocal abilities, which obviously is good because of voice acting here as well. But I love how they always portray librarians in movies to be like, they kind of know everything. They know more than us. They kind of see into us and what we could be. And they seem to know more about the world and its secrets and about us. And obviously that's all true. I did not realize half the people in this cast, like the voice actors, were so well known. I didn't realize, you know, the people playing the main two books are Whoopi Goldberg and Sir Patrick Stewart. So that was pretty cool. I honestly would never have even guessed that was Patrick Stewart if I didn't know. The premise as a whole is just pretty cool, you know? I mean, especially as a kid, it's like you're going through the library and you're going through all these adventures and finding out that these are all books, and you can get all of this excitement and imagination and wonder just from reading a book. It's cute watching it as an adult, but definitely as a kid, it's one of those that just really gets you into the hype of reading books. And I did slightly, I mean, incredibly vaguely remember the Mr. Hyde scene. Not so much the actual scene, but just like something is about to happen here that really terrified me as a kid. And as a kid, I always thought that the idea of personifying books in their different genres and personifying like what they look like and the things that they wield and what their worlds and lands are like, that just was peak for me. With all that being said, it's kind of hard to give this movie like lows necessarily because, yeah, it's pretty straightforward and it's kind of cheesy at times, especially in the beginning, like less the animation stuff and more the live action stuff. But like that's kind of its point, you know? I mean, it's targeted for kids. It's like a library promotional video, you know? Like, of course we watched it in library class. It's like Library the movie. And it is funny because it's in that category of movies where I definitely would have thought that it would have been like a straight-to-TV movie or like on Disney Channel or Nickelodeon. But it was just like a theatrical release. Kind of like Max Keeble's Big Move or Big Fat Liar. I definitely thought those were Disney or Nick movies when I was younger. But on the basis of it being a theatrical release, in which I guess they were intending some adults to watch it because there is some adult humor that would go over kids' heads, it's fine. You know, it's not great by any means in terms of overall quality for adults, but I'm not really gonna be scoring it based off of that because this is absolutely a type of movie that you see it as a kid and then watching it later on or remembering it later on, you kind of look back fondly on it. You know, you remember it as a movie that kind of formed you and the things that you like and your hobbies and all of that. So it's not really one that I think can fairly be scored against like adults watching it because I don't really think that's its intended purpose. If you see it for the first time as an adult, it just doesn't work as well. I mean, it's basically a 70-minute TV movie, but for being a kid's movie that's supposed to introduce you to the wonder of storytelling in books and not just movies, I think it does an absolutely amazing job at that. And there is a lot of beauty in the animation here for adults as well who just are fans of that and can appreciate that. It's simple, it's effective, its themes are very rudimentary, but so are kids, honestly. And sometimes we need just those very simple stories about friendship and becoming a hero. I'm going to give The Pagemaster a 3 out of 4. So as you can tell, and as you guys already know, I love books and I love reading. So with that being said, it's Shameless plug time. So just real quick, you guys may have already seen it, but I uploaded a video, I think it was before the Spiderwick Chronicles video, that was my cover release for the first novel that I have ever written. I started when I was 10, and I am 28. But it is finally coming out this October, as long as everything goes the way it's supposed to in the submission process. It's called The Necklace, Curse of the Hourglass, and it's going to be available hopefully just about everywhere October 24th, so please keep an eye out for that and go watch the cover reveal trailer. That was really excited about that, and I'm going to have some more updates soon. I got a couple things that I need to do. I just made a TikTok for it. I have no idea how to work TikTok. I'm old. And I need to get my author picture, I guess, still working that out. But so we got a couple more things that are coming up, but then it's just going to be go time and wait for it to come out. So check that out when it comes out. I am very, very excited to share that with the world. And if you want to know more about it, let me know in the comments below. I can make a little video talking about it, just the premise and the characters and everything. I'll be obviously posting on social media, but go follow the social media here. And as always, keep your hopes high, your stress low, and reading right in the middle. I'll see you guys later.
What